Hello everyone and welcome back to Theme Park Worldwide, where we're here at the Alton Towers Resort for another VIP experience. We're going to be doing the Wicker Man track walk tonight.
So the cost of this experience was £65 each. That included the lift hill walk, a single-use fast track for Wicker Man and express parking.
Now of course you might have seen that video from a few days ago from the Oblivion track walk. We didn't have the best experience at all. We have been contacted by Alton Towers since, and they are actually going to invite everyone that was on that first one back again to redo the experience, because the camera policy has now changed and they are allowing you to take photos. I'm not too sure about videos, but at least photos on that experience, which I am really pleased about.
We really appreciate that, so at least we can go and capture our memories and do it all over again.
And if you are booked onto those experiences, the rules change from now. You will be allowed to take photos and things and having that opportunity. So yeah, we were quite disappointed, but I'm really pleased that Alton Towers got in contact with everyone and are going to be offering that. Anyways, a different experience tonight, £65, a little bit less than the Oblivion track walk for Wicker Man. This is the park's GCI wooden roller coaster that opened back in 2018, and we're really looking forward to this tonight.
Yeah, I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to seeing the views from the top, which is going to be awesome.
Now, of course, with this we can take photos along the way and share the experience with you as well, and we're really excited for it. So again, much like last time, we're going to get kitted up and that sort of thing. Well, this time, instead of just being at home in the studio recording a review, we're actually going to have some content to share with you from Wicker Man itself. We can take loads of photos, hopefully some videos as well, and just capture the overall experience. So come and join us here on Theme Park Worldwide. We're back again and we're checking out the new for 2024 Wicker Man track walk. Let's go. And the meeting point for this experience is right opposite Wicker Man itself. Of course, these only take place on off-peak days anyway, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So yeah, we're meeting here just before 5 o'clock. What's different with this one? We believe we don't need to be clipped on with the pencil gear or anything like that, because of course, Wicker Man's lift hill is a lot less steep than Oblivion, has also got the barrier on the side. But yeah, looking forward to giving this a go. We're gonna get some great views looking out over Big Bob and also the rest of the coaster. Well, we're back here now in the studio after our Wicker Man track walk, and before we get into the details and I share with you the awesome footage that we took during the experience, just wanted to say we had a brilliant time with this one.
We enjoyed it so much. The staff made that experience so much better. They were fantastic.
Now, we started off after that previous clip where they actually came over and greeted us, and we all walked over to the front of the Wicker Man shop, and that's where they all introduced themselves, and there was a much more of a welcoming vibe from everyone. It was really nice there, actually.
It was a very friendly atmosphere. So the staff all introduced themselves, told us how long they'd been working at the resort, what their day-to-day sort of looked like, and what else they have done at the resort.
Now, along with that, we also had a safety briefing this time, which was really nice how that was presented. Not too long, it was just a nice bit of information about everything that we were going to be doing, comfortable footwear, where the nearest fire point was if we needed it, and all of that essential information, and also a point to ask any questions as well. We also then were handed a little board just to sign our name and date it, just to say that we understood everything, and yeah, that everything was good to go really, which we thought was really good. But yeah, that overall kind of introduction to the experience was much better than what we had a couple of days prior with the Oblivion track walk, and a lot of people gave feedback from that, ourselves included, and it was really nice just to have that really friendly welcome. Felt a lot more professional, and that was a really good moment.
So straight after we'd done that, we went through the station and we dropped our bags off in the baggage hold, and then we went into the station and we were shown that we had to lock off like we did on Oblivion, just to make sure that the ride couldn't be started. Yes,
that's just the standard procedure when anyone's walking in a ride area, whether it's us doing the track walk or those people that are working on the ride, maintaining the ride. If anyone's walking around that ride area, you lock off. And again, we were kind of invited up in pairs, up in twos, to head up there into the station. There was a group of 8 I was on this experience, so yeah, 2 at a time up into the station where we locked off. Now, along with that, it was quite cool. We couldn't film or take any photos in the operator's cabin, but they did let us have a look around in there, and they explained everything about it, didn't they?
It was so cool to be in the operator's cabin and get a bird's eye view of what the operator would see when they're inside the cabin. There was just so much going on in there.
Everything from like the console, and then you've got like some separate screens, one that controls like the queue time and the queue times boards, another one for all actual ride announcements and that sort of thing. And yeah, that was really good getting to see all that. And the main console, which has got a screen with a picture of the layout on, and of course when it's powered up, you'd see where the trains are all around the circuit. Now, we did actually get told that we were going to get to press the button to turn the fire on, and we were quite excited about that. But by the time we got to the station, they tried to do it, and literally someone had already turned the fire off. So again, this was only the second one of these they'd done. I think that all just goes back to communication there. I mean, we weren't too disappointed, but it would have been a nice little touch there, and they were building it up quite a bit, weren't they?
We got to hear the sound effect at least of it going off, but the actual fire just never went off.
Yeah, so it wasn't the staff's fault there. It was probably maintenance or someone else whose job it was to turn the fire off at the end of the operational day that already turned it off. So it's just them little bits of communication that Alton Towers need to work out on and sort out. But I was starting to think at that point, well, hopefully, everything else is going to be fine. But luckily it was after that. So yeah, we had a good time in the op cabin. And yeah, we was like 15 minutes in the station, really, just having a look round. And we're also told at this point we could take photos and videos at certain points around the experience, which was really good to see.
So what they handed us was we each got like a phone pouch. So you popped your phone in there and it kept it safe so it wasn't going to fall or anything throughout the experience. We all got given one each, and it's just like a clear pouch to put your phone in so we can walk around the track.
They were pretty good, to be honest. I was thinking, how are the photos going to turn out? Worth pointing out, you can't use like a GoPro on a chest mount or anything like that, or any other cameras. It has to be your phone that fits into this little pocket. Well, that was fine. And to be honest, with the pockets being brand new, they weren't scratched or anything. So, the photos and videos that you see in this video, you can't really tell they were in a pouch. Hopefully, Alton Towers, with the cost of the experience, will keep replacing them every few weeks, really, just so they don't ever get like too scratched and that sort of thing. Else, yeah, your photos probably wouldn't turn out the best, but hopefully they will do. At that point, of course, we didn't need to have any like clips on or Petzl gear with this one. None of that was required, mainly because of the Wicker Man lift hill like it is. It's quite it's not a steep gradient, it's quite gradual, and also you've got the handrail on the side as well, which we're told to hand onto with one hand at all times. So at this point, we then made our way out of the station. We were told we couldn't take any photos or videos on this first bit, so we kind of walked through the tunnel and got to the bottom of the lift hill, and that's where straight away they gave us some information and we could stand there and take some photos and videos.
I think the facts and the information that they gave along the way was really good, and it had such a friendly vibe, like we was having a laugh, which was really nice to see. So we was all at the bottom of the lift, and at certain points there is cross sections before you get to the lift. There was just making sure that it was all okay, crossing over one at a time, and then we were split into two different groups to walk up the lift.
It was quite cool actually how you got to actually walk over the track, instead of just being on that side, as I thought that was a good experience. Now yeah, so two different groups. We was actually on the side that was closest to Big Bob, the big structure, if that makes sense. The other group would be on the existing side, kind of closer to the rapids, if we're going off the lift hill. So yeah, we were on that side. We didn't pick that, that's just exactly how they did it. Whichever side you're on, you're going to get a good experience and see them different vantage points. And yeah, from that point, we took some photos and videos at the bottom. There was no kind of rush to get to the top or anything like that. The staff were really good. It was very relaxed. It was very chilled out. And then when everybody felt comfortable and ready to move on, we did do. And we climbed up the lift hill, getting some awesome views, not just looking over Wicker Man, but the park as well. Now, when you're going up on Wicker Man, the lift hill is quite fast, isn't it? So you wouldn't really look backwards or turn around. I mean, you might just look to the side to take in the views, but you wouldn't necessarily turn all the way round. I never realised from Wicker Man, when you're looking that way, how much you'd actually see from on there.
The view as you was climbing up was just fantastic. You could see so much of the park. It was just amazing. Like, we really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you could look across and see like the entrance, Tower Street, along with that Spinball Wizzy, you could see even the Smilers lift hill over in the distance. So that was quite cool. And yeah, we stopped at quite a few different points on the lift to get these awesome shots that you can see just here. It was really nice actually, just standing on there. The weather was pretty good for us as well, just looking out. And of course, Wicker Man is a brilliant ride, it really is. And with it being a wooden coaster, it's got that charm about it. So to actually walk around part of the track for this was a really awesome experience. Now, it also meant we could get nice and close to the chain as well, which was there in the middle. Of course, the chain pulls it up to the top of the lift hill, so you could get really nice and close to that. And all the rules were basically was just make sure, you know, you've got one hand holding on whilst you walk in, and other than that, you can just be free and just enjoy it. And it was quite nice not being clipped on, I thought, with that one.
Yeah, because sometimes when you're walking up on a lift hill, you're quite restricted because you're having to try and focus on pulling your wire across to make sure that you're nice and clipped on. So it was so much easier, and you was a lot more free as you was walking up the lift up and down, which was great.
Yeah, it's nice because you could be fully focused on just taking it in, the views of Wicker Man and of course the rest of the park. Now, it's not exactly a really tall lift hill Wicker Man, but I was quite surprised at how much you could see from up there. Obviously you could get a nice view over the rapids as well with all of that area, back over the station, Big Bob itself, and with the weather being nice, it was a lovely clear kind of evening for doing this walk as well. And yeah, I was quite, you know, just quite intrigued actually with the view, because, you know, I've just never really sat on the back like row 12, turned round and took in that view before, which was, yeah, it was quite fascinating actually, just standing up there and seeing that, and even more so actually when we came back down. But still, we stopped in a few different places and then we arrived at the top. So this was just before we went into the tunnel on the ride. So yeah, we literally stopped right there at the top of the lift hill, as far as you could go before you'd be then heading into the tunnel, which is on the first drop of Wicker Man. And from that point, the views were fantastic, looking down the lift hill as well. And with it having that change of gradient in the lift, that was quite interesting to get some angles of that. Obviously, that was designed because of the terrain and staying below the tree height, but also the clearance for the brake run underneath. So that made some really cool shots looking back down, and also getting to appreciate the various different twists and turns. This is where the staff that were up there with us were absolutely fantastic, weren't they?
They were just so friendly. We was having such a laugh at the top. It was just having a nice casual chat with each other. It was brilliant. There was pointing out little spots that we wouldn't really notice, giving facts that people wouldn't even notice. They did such a good job, and they were so friendly.
Yeah, I can't commend the staff enough. Like, they were absolutely fantastic, really friendly, and that's the thing, it wasn't too serious either, you know. I was thinking, you know, because of some of the negative feedback they had a couple of days before with the lift walks, you know, was it going to feel a bit too serious and stuff? And no, like, they literally hit it head on. It was fantastic. What a great experience that was. It was awesome, like, just being up there. And it was actually at the top for around, what, 25 minutes or something like that. There was no rushing around. We was up there for ages. I was thinking it's starting to go dark, like, but that was really nice, just taking it all in and seeing the views. Now, if you are doing that experience, of course, you have got the two groups, one on each side. In terms of the better views, we were probably on the better side, I would say, being closer to Wicker Man. But if you were on the other side, obviously you get a bit of a different perspective with the track being in the foreground and then looking out over the coaster. But I felt probably that was the better side to be on where we were. So on the right-hand side of the lift hill, just so you could kind of look over and see the view, really.
You got a great perspective on the side that we was on. If we was on the left-hand side, the view might have been a little bit blocked with the people from the right-hand side stood there.
Yeah.
But both sides you're going to get a great view, but I feel like the right side is the better place to be.
I think a little bit of feedback really with that one from us would be probably, ideally, if they could take the whole group up on one side. I'm not too sure why they've done it that way. I mean, I suppose just to get more people right up to the top. But I think it probably would be better for the views if they just took the whole group of, I think, 8 of us, as there was this time, just up that one side. I know not everyone's going to be right near the top then, but you just get to see a little bit more, you know, all on that side. I mean, obviously we didn't do the other side, so we don't know what the views are like. But if they were taking photos, we may have been blocking their kind of views for taking photos and videos. So possibly that would be better if they took everybody up just on that one side closest to Big Bob and Wicker Man itself. But overall though, we really enjoyed our time up there at the top. Weather was perfect, facts were coming in, some laughs along the way. Some of the facts he told us, of course, there was going to be a smokehouse restaurant that was going to be built where the entrance to the queue line is for Wicker Man. The plan was to have a restaurant in there, and that never made it through to the final plans, so they were talking about that. They were pointing out some of the old features of the flume, how the queue line for Wicker Man basically follows the route that the flume's queue line used used to go, except the other way round. You can also see the old piece of the flume that's still out there in the trees from up there as well, and get a different angle on that. And just in general, lots of facts. What I liked, the staff were sharing their stories. One of the staff members was telling us about how, you know, obviously he saw the view up there of Oktoberfest one night, and he shared his experience of everyone was partying over on the lawns, and he was, you know, doing some checks on the lift hill. So I liked how personal it felt with that as well, you know.
Sometimes it's really nice to have a personalised touch and not be taking things like really seriously. Like, it's nice to hear from the staff's perspective exactly what they've had from their experience from climbing the lift and not be too serious.
Yes, I really liked that. And then, of course, once we'd all finished at the top, again, there was no rush. We was up there for ages. You could spend as long as you wanted to there. You could take as many photos, as many videos as you want to, which we did, as you've seen here. Certainly making up for it after the Oblivion one. And then we started to make our way down the lift. And this was actually the best part of the experience, in my opinion, because you were walking down, looking out at this big vista of the park. I just thought that was really good for the views. And again, we stopped when we were making our way down. In fact, there was one extra stop that I wanted to get some shots. So I literally just said to the member of staff, oh, do you mind if we stop here? Wasn't a problem at all. So we just stopped at this point. The others, I think, carried on down in front of us. So it left an even better view, to be honest, for us, because they carried on walking down. So there was about 20 feet between us and them other people walking down, so just to get some different shots and a bit of a different perspective of that, which was great. And then we made our way back down to the bottom of the lift hill, where again, you know, we were just having a bit of a chat, and it just wasn't rushed at all, was it? It was so nice.
I think that's really nice. When you're paying at the price you are for a VIP experience, you don't want to be rushed through, because then it feels like your experience is a bit short-lived. Like, the longer it takes, the better, really, because you're getting your money's worth.
That's the thing, you don't just want to be up and down. No. You could do it in 10 minutes, but you don't want that. You've paid £65 for the experience. You want to take it in, you want to enjoy it, and get the full kind of experience with it all, really. After that point, once everyone was happy with what they'd seen and took enough photos and videos, we crossed back over the track on the little crossing panels, walked back through that tunnel. It's fascinating, actually, that tunnel. So obviously, you know, you're on the ride, you come out the station and you drop down to the right gradually and then left before the lift hill. That tunnel has got no theming in at all. When you're on the ride, you don't really notice, because they have the smoke machine on that pumps out a bit of lighting. There's no theming in there at all, is there?
I didn't actually realise there was nothing in there until you see it with, like, no smoke, no light, and it's just so basic.
Yeah, you walk through it, but it didn't really need to be themed, because you don't really notice it. Like, when you're on the ride, I think you're that pumped just for the experience. You're literally in there for what, maybe 2-3 seconds when you're coming through at speed, because even though you've not gone up the lift yet, GCI coasters build up that speed, don't they, quite quick. So the little pre-drop, so to speak. Yeah, there's no theming in there, but you don't really notice when you're on the ride. I guess, you know, if you had a good look about, you would, but in general, like, you know, you don't, because you're just looking at the smoke and lighting once you're on the ride itself. We then made our way back into the station area. At this point, of course, we could head into the operator's cabin once again and have another bit of a look round. Again, we couldn't take any photos and videos in there, which is fine. Yeah, we gave a bit of a tour around in there, which was quite nice as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had to take our padlocks off and give our keys in, because if one of us lost those keys, Wicker Man would not be operating, so we have to make sure that you keep those keys really safe.
That's the thing, so yeah, make sure you don't lose them. I literally just asked Dan and said, oh, do you mind if we have a photo in the train? And that was not a problem at all, so we just sat in the front of the train. Brilliant photo just here, lovely photo op. It was really cool because he got down on the track, he was still locked off as well, so he could stand in front of the train and get that awesome photo of us in there. Because yeah, you could technically snap your photo in the front from the air gate, but that would be side on. So it was nice for him to actually be right in front and getting to appreciate the train and how gorgeous the Zero car is actually on Wicker Man. It's really nice there with Wicker Man itself, you know, right on there with the horns and everything. So that's a brilliant photo, and one that we wouldn't get, you know, without doing this experience. And that's the thing, we got so many photos and videos here that you wouldn't normally be able to take. You know, there's no photography allowed on the ride normally. Doing this, we got some amazing photos, some unique views to get up close and personal with Wicker Man, and it was a fantastic experience, wasn't it?
Yeah, we really enjoyed it. The staff just made that so much more memorable, and the fact that we could take our own photos and our own videos made it even more special.
Yeah, at that point, we then, everybody else had a photo in the train. I think probably from this point on, they might just suggest that and say, oh, would you like a photo? I thought, well, there's no harm in asking. If you don't ask, you don't get, you know. I thought I'll ask for it, and then I think they thought, oh yeah, we'll do that, you know, more often, than everybody else had one. So I think in the future, they'll probably just offer that at the end and say, oh, do you want a picture in the train, or even at the start maybe. But that was really nice. Once we'd kind of been asked any more questions or anything like that, we literally exited the station, picked up our bags, and that was the end of the experience. And with it being after hours at Alton Towers, they do then walk you from the ride back to the main entrance, which was quite nice, and they gave us a goodbye, and that was the end of the experience. Again, the whole thing took about an hour and 15 minutes, so yeah, it was definitely worth the money, this one. Like, I didn't think that with our experience with Oblivion, by no means, it was not great, whereas with this, the £65 we spent was definitely worth it, and just to capture their memories and do something unique was incredible. Like, this was an awesome experience.
Like, it's just so nice that we can look back on our photos, and even when we're riding Wicker Man, we can look back and be like, we were stood there, we had our photos there, which was really nice. Definitely.
So now I give this one a good 9 out of 10. I think maybe it was a little bit still overpriced, possibly for the length. You know, or it would be nice even if they could take you to some other areas, maybe the brake run, a look around the tunnels from the station, the maintenance shed. Just add that little bit more into the experience. But still, I didn't feel ripped off from doing this, and I would recommend this experience. A new VIP experience at Alton Towers. Now, you know, of course, we shared our thoughts on the Oblivion one last week, so check out the video if you haven't already seen it. But as I did mention at the start of this, Alton Towers have listened to the feedback. They now allow photography in certain places on Oblivion, similar to Wicker Man. So we're going to go back and do that. They've actually invited us back, so we can do it. So thank you for that. We do really appreciate it. It wasn't a good experience. I didn't recommend it last time, and let's go and give it another go. We'll film a video. This is going to be coming up in mid-April. We're going to be doing this again, and everyone's been invited back that was on that to give us a fresh chance, a fresh review, and let's see how that one goes. But based on how much we enjoyed this one and the awesome photos and videos we got, I can't wait to actually get back up Oblivion and just take some decent photos, not on a small GoPro. Like, you know, it's going to be a much better experience, that one, I think.
We can get some much better photos this time from our experience.
Yeah, definitely. But there we go. They're the new attraction walks that they do at Alton Towers for this year. It'll be interesting to see if they've got any other future plans for any other VIP tours and that sort of thing. But no, I really enjoyed this one. It was definitely worth experiencing, and if you are doing it, you'll have a great time. And like I say, we're going to be back doing the Oblivion one in a few weeks with a fresh mindset. We'll go in from the start, see what that experience is like, and we'll share that review and lots of awesome photos and videos from that one this time here on Theme Park Worldwide. Of course, if you haven't already, we've already filmed loads of vlogs to start the UK theme park season, and that isn't stopping anytime soon. We've got loads more to see, lots of new rides opening as well. It really is going to be an awesome year. So much to be excited for, Charlotte.
I'm so excited for this year.
It's going to be epic, it really is. And of course, we've got Alton After Dark again this weekend, and yeah, it's going to be great. Another chance to ride through until 8 p.m. But thanks for joining us here on Theme Park Worldwide. As always, we really appreciate all of your support and comments and likes. It really does mean the world to us. And that leaves us with one final thing to say. Get out there and keep on riding. We'll see you in the next video.